Okay, so let's maybe close up the cab now. Just gonna select that and let's just hide everything else for a minute. Okay, and let's also go into the modify stack here and we'll just delete maybe the turbo smooth as well as the symmetry for now. We'll just work on half of this at a time. Okay, and before we start closing this up, let's actually go into the top view here for a second. Alright, you can see the back edge here isn't completely straight, so I'm just going to grab all the back verts and we'll just make planar on X just to straighten that out. Okay, and then we'll go over here to edge and just grab one of the edges there on the end and do a loop. Okay, we only want to have the side edges selected here, so I'm just going to hold down Alt and deselect these top ones. Okay, and you can see we have quite a few segments coming across the top here that we're going to need to match up with back edges so we can weld it up. So let's maybe go into the top view, and I'm just going to go to the move tool. We'll zoom in a bit here, and I'm just going to hold down shift and we'll just kind of shift drag these edges over. Okay, so hold down shift, drag it over on the X. And I'm just going to line that up with that edge there. We'll hold down shift again, drag it over to the next one. And just keep doing this until we get to the middle. Okay, so just shift drag that for each section. Okay, just like that. And it's a little laggy here with the capture, but we'll just do this quick. Alright, so just get that as close as you can there. And for this one here, we'll just shift drag it out one more time. And then we'll just zero out the axis down at the bottom here by right clicking on the spinner. Okay, so that's right over to the side. And now we just need to go along the top here and just weld up these pairs of verts right on the top edge. Okay, so we'll just grab these, holding Control, and we'll just weld this up. Okay, so just open up the weld box there, and it shouldn't take much to get these to snap together. Let's do about 0.5 or so, and okay. And you can check if those are welded by just grabbing one of the verts and just moving it around. Okay, so that's all welded up now. And now we need to cut in the hole here for the pipe as well as extrude this bottom edge in a bit. Alright, so let's maybe unhide all for a second. I'm just going to grab the pipe here. Okay, so the pipe and the cab, we'll do Control I again, invert the selection, and hide select it. Alright, let's go into the left view. And we're going to need to add an edge along the bottom here so we have somewhere to cut the polygons out of. Alright, so let's maybe just do a ring on these bottom edges here. Just going to grab this back one and do a ring. Okay, we'll add a segment here with a connect. And we'll just slide this up a little bit with one segment. And we'll just match it up with the bottom of these two edges here. Alright, the top one is actually a support edge. So let's do it about there. We'll hit OK to that. Okay, then we'll go back to perspective here. And we'll just see if that's going to be the right size for the hole. Should work fine. So let's just select this polygon right here and let's delete that out now. Okay, let's maybe add one edge on the top here just as a little bit more support. So we're going to ring these edges here, we'll do another connect, and we'll just bring this one down just above the hole. About 90 or so should be good. And I think that should work fine for now. We're going to probably need to add a few more edges later on, but we'll do that when we get to that part. Okay, so let's hide unselected here again. And in order for us to extrude the border in correctly here, let's maybe put the symmetry back on. Alright, so we'll do that on the Z. And let's convert it back to editable poly here just to collapse it down. Alright, so let's go underneath. And this is going to take a little bit of adjusting for us to extrude this properly. So let's select the bottom border here. We'll control click edge. Okay, we don't really need to have these front edges selected, so let's go into the left view and we'll just hold down Alt and deselect these ones. Okay, and later on we're going to have to make some modifications to the side panel here to kind of cut it around the fender. We'll worry about doing that later. Let's just get the border extruded in. Okay, so with the entire outside border there selected, let's go to extrude. We'll open up the box of that. We'll take this down to a negative amount here to extrude the edge in. And we'll also right click the spinner for the extrusion base here and zero it out. Okay, you can see the corners here are a little bit whacked out. We'll fix that in a minute manually. Let's just get it in first. And we don't need it to be super thick. Let's maybe do -15. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to go to vertex here. We'll just select one of these verts here that's kind of screwed up. And we'll go into the top view. We'll just manually straighten the edges out by moving the verts around. Okay, so let's pull this one over to the right. Straighten this edge out here, and then we'll move it down on the Y and just straighten out that corner. Okay, same thing over here. Pull that straight down and straight over. Okay, and one more at the back here. Let's grab this guy and we'll just straighten that out as well. Okay, we'll see if there's any more that need to be adjusted. Okay, for these ones here at the front, where this little panel is here, or this little tab, let's maybe grab this vert right here and right here, and we'll just push those back so it kind of goes straight in. Okay, and these ones here are just the verts on the other side, which we can probably get rid of for a minute. Alright, so let's just maybe delete the right side of the truck here. Okay, so everything on the right side of center, we'll delete that out. And it's a lot easier just to work on half of this at a time. Okay, and everything's looking pretty good. Alright, so now that we have that extruded in, we're going to need to add some additional edges here just to hold this corner along the bottom when we put the turbo smooth back on. If we do it now, it's going to be way too soft. Alright, you can see that looks horrible there around here, so let's delete that, drop back down to edge, and we'll just go into the side view. Let's grab this back edge here, do a ring on that one, hold down control, we'll just grab an edge here on the other side of the hole, and do a ring on that one. And then we'll just connect it up here with the segment, and slide that down towards the bottom. Okay, we want the bottom edge to be pretty tight, so let's bring it down a little bit more. Let's do about -85 with one segment, and okay. And we also need one along the bottom here, so let's select one of these edges, do a ring. Okay, and you can see that stopped right there on the side of the hole, and the reason for that is we must have a misweld here somewhere. So let's go into vertex. It's going to grab the verts on the corner here, and yeah, you can see we have two selected, so let's just weld those together. Let's check this side as well. And we have two there, so we'll weld those. Okay, that might be the only two we need to do, so let's do another ring on this bottom edge. Okay, and if that went all the way around for you to this point, then you don't have any miswelds. Alright, and if it didn't ring, then just check to make sure that you don't have overlapping verts anywhere that need to be welded up. Okay, so now we have those selected. Let's do another connect. And we'll just slide this towards the outside. And let's do maybe about 75 on that one, and okay. Okay, and at the front here you can see that these edges just ended off right here, so we're going to have to clean this up manually a bit. Okay, so let's go to the left view, let's go over to the front, and we'll just maybe continue this edge here down and around the front. So let's turn off edge, we'll go into maybe cut, and we'll just start here on this vert. And we'll just kind of cut this around the profile here. And so we're going to bring it down like that, try to keep the edge spacing even. Click there, and we'll take it right to the front edge, and just click, then right click to end. Okay, so we'll grab this vert here and this one, and connect them up. And for this one here, we'll select both these. Let's actually just maybe select the one there. We'll go to target weld. We'll just weld this one up to this one and manually just adjust this edge. Okay, so let's move that forward a bit, just until we have the pretty much even spacing around the outside edge here. Okay, if you want to, you can straighten this one off as well. And we'll just do a similar thing here underneath, continue the support edge down. Okay, we want to make sure that this is actually welded together here, so I'm just going to grab this vert and we'll just move that. Okay, and you can see we have another polygon on the inside there. So let's hit Control Z to that. And I think we probably have two verts right here, so yeah, we do. So we'll just weld those two up, and that's what caused the edge to stop right here, this edge. Okay, so now that that's welded, let's maybe grab this polygon here, delete that out for a second. And we'll just get rid of this inner polygon by selecting this vert, moving this back, grabbing that inside polygon there and deleting it. And then we'll just readjust the vert here by hand in the top view. Alright, so I'm just going to push this up and kind of straighten out the edge here. Okay, you can see it's a little bit wider at that end, so let's turn on our edge constraint. And we'll just slide this back a little bit towards the outside and just even out the gap here. Okay, and let's jump back in the edge here. Let's grab this edge and this one underneath, connect those up with one segment, and we want this to be over on this side, so let's just do -75 and hit OK. And now we should be able to bridge these edges together. So let's grab this one here and this one, we'll hit bridge. And to fill that gap there, let's just grab the border and hit cap. And then I'll continue our support edges around the front. Okay, so we're probably going to need to add some edges here to hold these corners when we put the turbo smooth on. I'm just going to try that right now and see how it looks. Okay, you can see that's completely lost the shape that we need. So let's maybe delete the turbo smooth again. And we'll just support this corner with a couple of additional edges here. Okay, so let's grab maybe this edge here. We'll bring that up and do a connect. And we'll just use one segment here and just slide it towards the corner. Okay, and about -95 or so should be good. We're going to have to make some adjustments here, as I mentioned earlier, later on, so we'll just leave it there. Let's maybe do the same thing here. I'm just going to grab this edge, ring that one. Okay, and we don't want it to go down to this piece, we want it to end off right here, so let's deselect these bottom edges. Okay, so we just have it from here up to the top, and we'll connect that up the same way. Okay, we'll slide this down to the other end, and about 95 or so should be good, and okay. Right, and we'll just continue this down and underneath. So let's grab this edge, and this edge on the bottom. Do another connect, and we'll just take that down maybe a little bit here. 92, 93 should be good. And let's actually undo that. I'm just going to hit Control Z. Let's also do this edge here actually. So connect that back up. Hit OK to that, and then we'll just grab these two verts here and do a connect. And now we'll just target weld to this top vert down to this one. Okay, to get rid of that triangle. And if you want to, you can straighten out this edge here. Okay, so we'll do a similar thing down here. I don't think we really need to continue the edges all the way up over the top. So let's maybe grab these bottom edges here again. All right, these four. Do a connect on that, and we'll slide this down to the other end. Alright, so pretty much the exact same process here. Let's do about -92. Okay, we'll grab these four here and connect those up. Slide that down. And let's do about 88 or so on that one. And for these guys, let's see if we can just maybe get away with adding one edge over the top of the hood. So I'm going to grab this edge here, do another ring. Jump into left view here for a second. We'll connect that up, and let's just do one edge with no pinch, no slide, so it's in the center of this section. Hit OK to that. And we'll go back to vertex, grab that bottom vert there, as well as this middle one here, and do a connect. Right, and for these ones I think I'm just going to actually connect this up to this one here, even though it's going to give us a triangle. Alright, so grab those two and do a connect, and this one and the top one again, and connect that up. And I don't think these should cause us any problems with smoothing. The side here is pretty much completely flat, so that should be fine to leave a couple of triangles. Alright, so let's maybe put the turbo smooth back on. We also need to add a support edge around the back in a minute. So we'll see how this is looking so far. Okay, the bottom edge looks pretty good. You can see around the hole here it looks a little rough. And we could fix that by adding a couple of additional edges around this section. But in this particular case, let's maybe just add a third iteration of turbo smooth. That should probably smooth it out enough for us. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so I'm actually just going to turn that back to 2 for now. We'll put it on later on when we actually get into rendering. Alright, so this back corner right here looks a little too soft, so let's turn off the turbo smooth. Drop back down to edge. And we'll just do a ring right here on these edges. And let's add another segment in there with a connect. Alright, slide that back towards the back corner. And let's maybe do about -85 or so on that one. Okay, we'll see if that sharpened up enough for us. Okay, I think that looks fine. Okay, so the last thing we'll do on the body is cut this around the wheel well. Okay, which is going to be a little bit of a difficult task here. So let's unhide all. Alright, let's grab this fender piece here. Okay, and then we can hide everything else. Alright, you can see this is just sticking right through underneath. Alright, so we need to trim this off so that you can't see any of it sticking underneath there. So let's try to do this in the left view. Okay, and I don't want to spend too much time working on this piece here, so I think we'll do this a little bit quick and crude. Let's just maybe chop it off. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is just grab the cab. Alright, let's drop back down to edge, and let's maybe add one right to the middle here. So I'm just going to grab one of these edges here and ring it. Let's connect that up with one segment. And we just want to kind of hide the edge inside the fender, so let's slide this up a little bit more. Let's do about negative 30 or so should be good. Okay, we'll just maybe move some of the verts around here and kind of try to get the bottom edge inside the fender. Alright, let's go over to this piece, and let's go grab these verts here. Let's grab these ones here as well. And make sure you have your edge constraint on up there. And we'll just slide this over a little bit more. Alright, so just slide that over. And okay, we want to be careful we don't move this edge because that's the actual corner of the hood. Okay, so let's maybe fold this edge here down, and we'll just move the bottom verts here just slightly over. Okay, let's grab these ones here. Just gonna move these slightly down. Okay, I'm just trying to get a selection of pulleys here, or a section of pulleys that we can actually delete. Okay, so we want to just make sure that we have it hidden inside the wheel well here. Okay, let's maybe delete these out first. Okay, so I'm going to go to the polygon, and I think we'll just do this the easy way and select these ones here. Okay, let's delete those out, and let's put our turbo smooth back on. Okay, it doesn't matter really that the edge looks like this. We could clean this up a lot more, or make it a lot more clean and smooth, but I think in this particular case it really doesn't matter as long as we can't see it. Okay, so we just want to check and make sure we don't have any holes or any gaps in the body here that we can see above the fender. Okay, and also that we don't have any sticking through the inside. Okay, so we look pretty good here. I don't really see anything that we need to adjust. And I think that should probably work fine for us. If you want to take some time and actually kind of clean this up a little bit more, you could definitely do that. This is not the best way to do this at all. But in this particular station, it doesn't have to be right, it just has to look right. So as long as we can't see any holes or any artifacting, it should be fine. Okay, we also will have the tire obviously in there to block that. So I think I'll just do it like that just so we can keep moving here. So I think that was the final piece of the body that we needed to do. Let's maybe delete the turtle smooth here, and we'll just put another symmetry on here on the Z. And I don't think we're forgetting anything. I think that's all the holes we need to cut. So let's maybe collapse this down to editable poly. Okay, and let's put the turtle smooth back on with 2 iterations and iceline. Okay, we'll also unhide all here and just see how this looks with all the pieces in here. Alright, so just check it out, make sure you don't have anything that looks weird. Okay, so I think the cab looks pretty good. We're still going to need to put something in underneath here, and on the original one here I actually just have a simple box in there to kind of block us from seeing underneath. And we'll worry about that in a little bit. We also need some kind of back to the wheel well. Okay, so let's do that maybe now, and I originally did it just out of a simple sphere, or cylinder, sorry. Alright, so let's go maybe to the left view here and grab a cylinder. And we're just going to draw this out right in the center here. And we'll figure out the size in a second. Alright, and we're going to do kind of the same process here. We just want to make sure that we block any gaps in the back of the wheel well here. So I'm going to make a cylinder that's pretty much slightly bigger than our inside of the wheel well. Okay, we'll take off the height segments, we don't really need those. Let's add a cap segment to it. And we can also maybe increase the size slightly here. Let's do about 32 sides on it. And we'll just kind of center that to the fender. Let's maybe take the radius down slightly. And we'll slightly push it up as well. Alright, so just make sure that this outside edge is running inside of the fender. Alright, we'll convert that to editable poly. And we'll go into vertex here, delete the bottom half. Go into the top view and delete the right side verts here, so we just have a plane. Okay, and we also get rid of these edges, we don't need them either. Alright, so I'm just going to grab all the center edges and we'll just hit remove on those, and then we'll just go to vertex and get rid of the bottom 3 verts here that we don't need, so just remove those as well. Alright, I'm just going to apply the blue shade to this. And we'll just move this into position here. Alright, so I'm going to move it into the fender slightly. Okay, so just slightly in from the back edge. And if you actually want to take the time to model out a detailed piece that sits in here, you can definitely do that. But for our purpose, we really can't see in here, so I'm just going to block it quickly like this. And that's how I did it on the original truck. Okay, I'm not really worrying about any of the underneath pieces here. We're just going to do them quick. Okay, so that should block the wheel well and the tire all sitting here. And it's pretty large, so you really won't be able to see in there very much. Okay, and we'll just make sure that you can't see the edge of that very good. And let's maybe grab the bottom edge here. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit more. Okay, so it's just a little bit up from the bottom of the bumper. And we'll just slightly scale these verts out a little bit more. Alright, just tuck them into the fender. Okay, you could actually extrude these edges over if you wanted to close this gap up, but in this particular situation I think it looks better with it open around the bumper in this piece here.